All right, hey guys, so we're down at Lake Superior here. If you take a look out, you can see a bridge. This bridge actually crosses from Minnesota over to Wisconsin. And I got my drone with me today and the DJI Mini 2, and we're just gonna do a little bit of flying. All right, you guys, so this is just a short clip of some of the drone footage I just took. It's believe it or not, it's really a cloudy, windy day, but the 3-axis gimbal camera stabilizer that I have on this drone, it's the DJI Mini 2, is unbelievable actually. It's remarkable. So I just flew up over the bridge, kind of around it, flew over this boat, messed with these people a little bit, had some fun, buzzed my wife and my son a few times, but yeah, good times. All right, guys, let's get into a little bit of fun stuff here. So I want to talk a little bit about Minnesota, what it's like having a reef tank in Minnesota, some of the challenges and complications of having a reef tank in Minnesota, and just kind of want to have a little bit of fun with this. So Minnesota gets super cold between the months of December and March. Now, when I say super cold, like I'm talking like make your nuts freeze cold type stuff. Like sorry if that was a little inappropriate, but it's bitter cold. In fact, on I think it was January 2nd of 85, it reached negative 41 degrees below zero and wound up staying below zero for 11 days straight. Now, that's really a big deal because most of this state is weatherproofed, cold weatherproofed, to a certain degree. We can handle, below freezing for 8 months out of the year, but below zero is dangerous. Because what happens, and this is something that Southerners don't really think about, is when your hose line, you know how it sticks outside, so winter comes, and you bring your hose inside, you disconnect it, you shut your water off, but part of that hose line is still sticks outside, and some of the water lines aren't buried super deep. And what'll happen if it stays too cold for too long is your water lines can actually freeze. And I'll get to that a little bit later on. But this is all going to have a point, so just keep watching, all right? Be quiet, eat some popcorn, drink a beer, whatever. Keep watching. But a few times a year, actually, in the winter, we go out with a glass of hot water and just dump it in the sky, just literally fling it up in the air. Maybe you've seen a video about it or something before. Super cool to do, but when it's like negative 20 degrees, you go out, fling a glass of hot water in the air, it literally turns into a vapor. It just turns into a mist. There's nothing there anymore. A few times I've actually woke up to looking outside and just seeing frozen trees. Everything frozen, literally like a winter wonderland, something you'd see in a movie, and tree branches with a 1/4 inch of ice frozen over all of it, and ice storms that are just dangerous to drive in, dangerous to live around. You walk out and a big icicle could just fall right on you. It's never happened to me or someone that I know, but we get some pretty big icicles around here. So anyways, the point is that in Minnesota, there's a lot of changing variables. Your car might not start because it's so cold. Glass shatters easier when it's cold. Water lines freeze. We talked a little bit about that. So if you have an RO unit in your basement or something, or RO unit in your house, and there's no way to get water, that can be a huge issue. And then if you go to get in your car and try to drive to a store or something to get water and your car doesn't start, that's an issue. And the big one for me, and well, there's also snow that piles up, Snow piling up, man. I've had so many issues. So before I got an RO unit in our house, I used to just drive to the local grocery store and fill up water jugs and 5-gallon buckets full of RO water for the tank. And two winters ago, it snowed so much. I live on a hill, so I'm gonna just show this really quick. I had to block out all the windows for this video. It's so bright out right now. But I live on a hill. You can kind of tell a little bit. Wow, that's crazy lighting there. But so even with my truck, I have a Chevy Silverado 1500 Z71. With my truck, I got stuck trying to go down the hill. The snow was so deep. And so yeah, that can be pretty bad too, all in itself. But the biggest one that I worry about here in Minnesota is power outages. And power outages happen everywhere, but especially here in the winter, because all it takes is a tree and to have some big heavy branches that are weakened from all the wind and everything that's piled up on them or built up over the years. Then we get a ice storm, which usually happens when it's about 30 degrees out and it's warmer higher in the air, so it starts as rain, but then it falls and it turns into ice and it coats everything and it literally creates ice on everything. And sometimes you can't even open your car doors, they're so iced over. But trees will break from all the extra water and ice weight on them and snap power lines. And when that happens, it happens so much and in such a big area that no matter how many power guys are out there working to repair stuff, sometimes it just takes a while. And if that's the case, and you have a system like this where you have tens of thousands of dollars invested in it, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble, because if it's that cold outside, your house is going to cool off. This tank has dropped 10 degrees in the matter of a couple hours in the past when the power's gone out, and battery backups in Minnesota do not cut it. Unless you have a bunch of them and they're just huge battery backups, which is, in my opinion, an enormous waste of money, you're kind of going to be screwed. You really need a backup generator. Gas-powered generator, preferably. I even have, so underneath my tank here, I'll show you this. I have my outlet strips. So I have one back there, another one on the inside of the post, and another one right here. And this one and the other one that's closest to me, all I do is I unplug them from the other strip that's down on the floor, and I plug them into an extension cord that runs out to my generator. And so that's how I power this tank with the necessary things. A tank can go without lighting for a few days and not really have any bad impact on the coral or anything. But you don't want to run your lights for a few days straight, but it can go without lighting for a few days if need be. But I do have two of the lights, the two AI hydras on the ends, just to kind of give a little even distribution. Then I have a couple wave makers. The overflow is on, so that water can cycle through my sump down there because I have coral down in the sump, and my heaters. So I have everything that I would need to keep this tank alive. Plus I keep extra gas on hand. The only thing is I need to make sure each winter that my generator starts and runs. And usually, I mean, it's pretty loud, so it can piss off the neighbors if I have to run it at night. But I mean, that's what you got to do if you lose power. So people just have to understand that. But yeah, so why am I even telling you guys all this? Really, I'm telling you this because I think it's an interesting story. I think it's cool to understand what it's like to have a reef tank in different parts of the world. And to be honest, I haven't found many reef videos about what it's like owning a reef tank and up in the tundra, the Arctic tundra. That's what it feels like sometimes. But so I just wanted to kind of share some of my experience with you guys. And honestly, there's been nights where I've laid awake in bed and I can't sleep and I'm just miserable just waiting for the power to go out. Like it's just a heavy snowstorm, or it's an ice storm, or it's super windy, or, and I just lay awake and I'm just like, it's going to happen any minute. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I got to get the generator ready. I got to get the extension cord ready. I can do this. I can get it plugged in. And I stress about it. And sometimes it happens. Sure enough, it happens. And other times it doesn't. But man, I've lost a lot of sleep, had some stressful nights. It takes a rare breed of person to have a reef tank in general, and to be able to deal with the ups and downs, the struggles, the ins and outs. Those of you who have your own reef tanks and you've been doing this for more than a year, I think you're in the top percent of strong people in the world, to tell you the truth. If you haven't quit and you haven't given up and you've run into issues and struggles and you find a way to fight through it and battle through it, you even spend a little extra money because you do what you got to do, I think we're among the toughest, most strong, will-powered people in the world. I'm not even kidding. And especially to live in a super cold place, and I would say a super hot place too, has its own struggles equally. Um, but yeah, so on the flip side of the winter here in Minnesota, to kind of add to the story a little bit, is a really nice summer. We do for 2.5 months. 2.5 months out of the year, we have a pretty decent summer, and it's it when summer comes, man, you guys, I'm telling you, I'm like a little kid that just got a big bucket of candy from my first trick or treat stop on Halloween. I'm like, yeah, oh, I want a garden. I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to go swimming. I'm going to go for hikes. I'm going to go for walks. I'm going to take my family out. I'm going to buy some coral. I'm going to set up another tank. It's going to be game on, man. Like I get so excited with all these to-dos and all these wants. And man, I follow through with a lot of those things quite often during the summer. And it's because it's such a short time. And by the end of the winter, I'm so exhausted from cold weather. And now some of you I know are thinking to yourself right now, well, why the heck does he live in Minnesota? Like, why does he live there? Well, we have family here. Some of you guys know what that's like, right? You got family, so you're not going to move. And we love our family very much so. Very much appreciate our family. Got some good friends, awesome friends, some awesome jobs. And it's just one of those things, like you kind of are willing to deal with some things. And if I had it my way, I would seriously move to Florida as quick as I could. If I had it my way, I would move down there right away. But that's not the case. So here we are. Then after the summer, the short summer, it leaves us with the fall. So, and no pun intended there, leaves us with the fall. Okay, I didn't do a good job at saying that, but that's all right. So, and fall, I really do love the fall. I might complain about the weather here and stuff sometimes, but we have one of the most beautiful fall times in the world because we have so much wilderness up here and so much trees and just wildlife outside of the cities that's just knocking on the doorstep of the cities. And I can go walk outside and I can see 1,000 different colors in one glance at the hill nearby where I live. 1,000 different colors from one glance. Imagine your senses when you go for a walk or something, and you just breathe in that fresh air of warm and cool air mixing, and the colors and the trees and the smell of the trees changing and all the memories that stick in your mind from such a climactic time of year, and all the dramatic memories. And man, it's just it really has its moments here. So as much as I might complain sometimes, I also am thankful and appreciative and very much so value my life and the opportunities that I've had. And sometimes I think, what would it be like if I was born someplace down south or in a different country? And I just don't even let myself go there much because I really am thankful and I'm happy with where I'm at. And I appreciate where I'm at. So, and this is just another thing, having a reef tank like this and just the opportunity to be a part of this animal's life and to take care of it and deal with the ups and downs, deal with the ins and outs, deal with, the cold nights where I lose power, and then the hot days in the summer where I can't even get the tank to cool down. I have to hang fans over it. And, just all the struggles and the ups and downs. I'm finding ways to appreciate and enjoy it all. And everything has meaning to me now. And when you start to look for meaning from everything in life, it just adds a fullness, a completeness to life. And there isn't a lack. There isn't a need. And so I encourage you guys, look for the fullness, look for the completeness in what you already have. And let it be to motivate you to be thankful and have gratitude, because man, life is so much better, it's so much cooler, just more enjoyable. Really comes down to hope and enjoyment at the end of the day when you're grateful and you appreciate what you have. So anyways, guys, to sum it up, the contrast is so high between Minnesota and the ocean. The differences and the view, the weather, the scenery, how long it takes me to drive to a place that sells nice coral like I have in my tank versus how long it takes someone in Florida to drive. Like there's so many differences. And I just think it's cool to know what other reefers are going through around the world and what each tank has to go through in order to get to that place of successfully thriving and getting past that first year state mark and of the hobby where you have all those ups and downs. But man, I really appreciate it. Again, I appreciate you guys. If you like the video, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Critique me if you want. That's how I learn. I don't care. There was a time where I would sit around and kind of feel confused and mope and grope because people gave me a thumbs down and said my video sucked. But ultimately, man, it made me want to try harder. It still makes me want to try harder and do better. And I just love photography. Love taking pictures. Love taking videos. Love editing now too. Figured out how to edit. And yeah, things are really taking off in a good direction, and I got a long ways to go still, but I ain't quitting, I ain't giving up. So here we are, right? And yeah, if you guys want, I'll include a little bit more drone footage at the end of this video. Just a second here, of the walk my wife and I went on last night and with our son. Some pretty cool footage. So we live right at the base of like a big hill, and there's so many trees, and where the horizon level meets, with the top of the hill and the sky, there's usually some pretty cool colors in the evening when that sun's poking over the hill. So anyways, appreciate you guys. Remember to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can get notified every time I put out a video. And let me know your thoughts. Let me know some suggestions, and let's keep at it. So, Aquatic Bob's out.